fans, welcome to Sports Chat. Joined by John Muse today as Chris Burton was unavailable to operate the camera, so John's pulling double duty. This has been a big week, big win for the Cougars.
Oh yeah, complete, total, utter annihilation, domination. Cougars could have scored 120 points if they had wanted to.
Jeffers was on pace to throw 750 yards, basically.
And he had 373 yards and 6 touchdowns on 10 passes. He threw 4 passes that didn't go for touchdowns.
And didn't see the field in the second half.
No play in the second half at all. Josh Lake came in, got a lot of quarterback work. Coach Price was pretty happy with it. He completed one long pass, ran for a touchdown, probably his first touchdown as a varsity Cougar that I can recall. So congratulations to Josh Lake on that and the second string. Cougar defense replaced, lots of key players. I mean, they have an all-sophomore defensive line. Replaced Corey Phillips in the secondary. Replaced, of course, Nick Bailey at linebacker. Lots of new faces.
Andrew Evans in that hybrid linebacker DN position. And I know that Cumberland Gap's not going to be the strongest team they face all year, but the way they swarmed to the ball.
Yeah, they were in position. They made the plays they needed to make. The defense, it's not going to look the same. Obviously, next week against Lincoln, they're going to roll Lincoln. Unless something really has changed a lot. But Central's going to be a tough game. It'll be a tough match. Central's a power running team, and Central will be able to get after them. But just enjoy this right now on that defense. They were there where the ball was at to make the plays.
I mean, there's so much that went right. I mean, the offensive line. Much credit to them and Coach Turner. Jeffers did not get dirty in this game. There was no green on his uniform.
You got 4 seniors and Peyton Webb, who's a sophomore this year, who started a bunch last year. I mean, they're just a great offensive line. Patrick Wright, Jacob Burnett, Dylan Promote,
and
Spencer
Roberts.
Those guys just play together. They're like a wall up there. I mean, Patrick, his snaps are just perfect every time out.
And he and Jeffers have been together so long, the chemistry is just there.
Josh James, he's got that array of weapons and receivers. They added him and Jacob Bunch caught some passes.
Yeah, Bunch actually played quarterback at Jacksboro, but Mike Miller and Brent Peel always told me, even though Bunch is playing quarterback, he's really a receiver, and he proved it Friday night.
I mean, he made a quick impact out there. I think he got the first pass of the game. Just really, those receivers just ran by Cumberland Gap, and they could not contain them. There's just a lot of speed on this Cougar team, and those guys on the balls around them, they pretty much catch it when the game is on the line. And Torres has some good punt returns. I'm glad to see the Cougars start fielding a few punts this year. They still didn't field some of them, but they lost a lot of field position last year, as well as they played in every aspect of the game last year. And the punt return game was lacking a bit because they just usually didn't field punts. I think it was late in the year Corey Phillips finally fielded a punt, maybe the first one I saw them field all year.
Right, and on the other end of that, we're still not sure who the punter is.
No,
Campbell County did not punt.
Campbell County didn't even approach punting at any point during the game. Really, I said total domination is all you can say about it. Some people I saw already are criticizing Campbell County for scheduling the game. I mean, they made this schedule several years ago. They'd won 8 games in a 4-year period when they made this schedule. And the new schedule, for people who don't like them playing, I don't know why you wouldn't like them playing Cumberland Gap. It's a border rivalry. The new schedule, the new TSSAA districts, they reward you for playing games close to your region, close to your home.
Right.
I mean, TSSAA, I mean, it's a money grab by them to get more teams to the playoffs because they get the gate. They claim that it's to reduce travel expenses.
And
and they want you playing teams in your area.
Almost no team schedules a super. I mean, you get the Alcoa Maryville game as an out of district game.
I mean, Maryville's a much bigger school than college still. Yeah, I mean, 300 people go to Alcoa and 1,500 go to Maryville.
And you get Oak Ridge and Farragut. Those are both big football tradition-rich schools, but a lot of times you're just going to see a big school versus a small school this time.
I mean, most people open at different levels. It's just the way it goes. And Lane Camp, they made this Lane Camp schedule And Lynn Camp beat the tar out of Campbell County the last time they had played them, like 54 to 13.
Oh yeah, I mean Lynn Camp beat us like a drum at home. I mean, it was 56-7.
I knew it was a pretty big beating, a big margin of victory. So they scheduled it, not knowing that Lynn Camp was quite as down as they were.
And Cumberland Gap is traditionally actually a really strong football team. They're just smaller than Campbell.
They often make the playoffs in their district and they play good teams. They play Greenville.
Yeah, and I mean, they've had to face Alcoa in the playoffs.
And Greenville's a 4A school. It's not like that's a big step down.
It's just there's no reason to criticize Campbell County for this game. In fact, I heard one, and I'm just going to call him out. Whoever, you're an idiot who said this. So, these boys are running the score up. I ain't coming back to the Campbell County game. Well, I hope I don't ever see you there again because you're an idiot. You don't tell kids not to score. You got to work your offense out. And they threw the ball 13 times with the varsity.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they mean. I didn't know someone said that because I was on the other side of the stadium in the press box, but that's a dumb statement. Like I said, Campbell County could have scored 100 points if they wanted. 100.
Easy.
I mean, what were the kids supposed to do? Fall down? Or catch the ball? I mean, those kids want to go out and score touchdowns. I mean, it's not like, say he threw the ball 50 times. I mean, that's probably the least throws you'll ever see a Price starting quarterback make.
Right. And, of course, Ethan's up for Player of the Week in Prep Extra. And it's literally, when you read that stat line, it says in one half of a football game.
It could have been a lot worse. And we've been on the low side of a lot of those 48-7s, and we just had to take it. Sometimes you just got to take it. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. I said it wasn't nothing malicious on the part of Coach Price. I said he could have scored 100. And honestly, they may score 100 next week if they can, because Lynn Camp's been pretty shady with their dealings.
Well, they're Jackals. They're from Kentucky. It's the kind of thing I imagine that certain former first district school board members are probably, going to be somewhere in a Lynn Camp hat. Like they weren't in Anderson County hat.
They front run. They don't back.
That's true. That's very true. Campbell County Soccer's picked up a couple wins already. Campbell County Volleyball's picked up a couple wins already, and Jacksboro's 1-1 now.
Yeah, Jacksboro and Follett, they both had a pretty rough week on the road. Pardon me, Follett had a rough week on the road this week. Jacksboro had a pretty big win against Horace Mayer. Follett, I'm just going to call them this. They faced the Oneida Steamrollers.
Yeah, I mean, Norris is good, but Oneida's the team to beat.
Oneida's an 8-time defending champion. I don't think they've ever not won this district championship.
Right. I mean, the only game they've lost in 6 or 7 years was to Jacksboro last year.
And that was a regular season match. I believe it was 38-7, 38-8, something along those lines.
38-8, I believe.
Final score, and LaFollett's not that bad.
Yeah, that's not a shot at LaFollette. Landon Addington is a great quarterback. He's got a decent line. He's got good weapons around him.
It's just Oneida is the team, and until someone knocks them out of that championship, I believe Norris can do it once the season's over. And Norris, as Jacksboro proved last year, beating them's a big thing, but beating them in the playoffs is another thing altogether. And they're the champs until somebody can beat them.
Of course, Jacksboro rebounded from that Norris loss and went over Horace Maynard.
Yeah, they went to Horace Maynard. Always nice to get a road win. First head coaching win of Brent Gill's Jacksboro Middle School head coaching career. So congratulations to Coach Bill on that.
Right, and of course Jacksboro will be home this week.
They'll finally get their first home game of the year.
And I'm pretty sure LaFollette is open this week.
Yeah, I think LaFollette has nothing. I'll check and find out for sure, and it'll be in my column this week.
There's a lot of good football to see in town this week.
Oh yeah, Cougar opening day, Cougar opening night, Friday night against Lynn Camp. So you probably did a lot more offensive fireworks, and the kids would really appreciate it if you show up and give them a big cheer.
And kudos to the people that showed up at the Cumberland game. It's not a long drive, it's not a bad drive, but you live in the Jacksboro-Carroll area. It does get a little bit lengthy, and people say. We beat Cumberland Gap bad, but Cumberland Gap's football team made a lot of money Friday night.
Yeah, the visitor section was pretty much filled up. And they got about $10 from me just off water. because they don't put any water in the press box.
Yeah, that's the one. The only bad thing I can actually say about Cumberland games, their lack of press box hospitality.
That rotten Josh Parker, the T and Q crew. I was going to the concession stand multiple times for everybody to pick up waters and, in their case, hot dogs and candy bars.
So, but this week, I know there's going to be Papa John's pizza in that press box.
Yeah.
The reason I know for a fact there's going to be Papa John's pizza in Jacksonville's press box. There's about to be some Papa John's pizza in my belly as soon as you turn the camera off.
It's hard to beat, come down to Papa John's and like I said, pick up your pizza, go to Jason's video, pick up a video. He's letting us use his camera this week.
Video store's not open today, but what better way, to spend a lazy, say maybe Tuesday night. Come here, get you a pizza, get you a video, have a good family pizza and video night.
If you get
video
lucky,
games too.
You come down here, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you get to see the good Dr. Martis. He'll make you the best pie you've ever had.
Well, fans, that'll about wrap it up for this week, and we'll see you next week on Sports Chat.